There can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks, I'm Matt.
And I'm Bruce.
And this is Justice League with spoilers.
I thought we were going to name it the Brucey Matt cut.
Oh, my gosh. If it would be, it'd be a 30-second film. So I watched this. We both watched this 4-hour monstrosity
Let's not make assumptions.
that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
And I found out I do not remember much of the first one. I remember I hated it.
Yeah, and I will say this, compared to the first one, what do you think?
Are we just going to skip to final thoughts now?
No, just compared to the first one. Less.
Okay,
up,
here's
down.
the deal. Here's the deal. If I was to say, because it is better than the Joss Whedon cut. It is, obviously. But I can also say that I had more fun watching that than I did sitting in line in the DMV. But that doesn't mean it's a great film. So we're going to break this down.
It's not a film. The thing is, it's not a film. Don't judge it like a film. It's a TV
You're right.
miniseries.
To call it a film would
It's a
be...
TV miniseries. And it's one of the best TV miniseries based off off comic books I've seen.
Ooh. Okay. So it begins with Batman v Superman, the ending, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't remember this. Did he give out a scream?
No, that's new.
Oh, okay, that's new. Okay, I don't even remember that. The yell heard round the world.
I mean,
kind of wakes
thing
everyone
is,
up.
yeah, I mean,
I don't get that.
I mean, I get it in a way, but it also explains more why the mother boxes woke up.
No, actually, it doesn't for me.
No, because the mother boxes, they said in the movie, the mother boxes, they were afraid of the Kryptonian. And that
so
let
when
the
they hear
Kryptonian,
him
that
scream
let them
out in
know,
pain.
yeah, they knew that he was dead, and therefore they woke up.
Well, what about the hundreds and thousands of years that when he wasn't there? Before he came to Earth. Why didn't they wake up before then?
Because they were asleep.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so I love how there's flowers set aside. I thought this on the original Superman. There's flowers set aside for a man who they didn't. No one really knew in the first movie. He wants to be left alone. Shoots a satellite down from space. Almost kills some people. Says, "Leave me alone." And then he tears up half their town. And Batman v Superman. Batman is the superhero going after him. And Batman
don't be
v
judging
Superman,
this movie based on
tears up half
the
the
other ones.
Hey, they connected the two.
They
It's
did.
not my
it
fault.
Is part of it, but that's a
leading
complaint
up to
about
that,
the lead-ins movies, not this movie.
Now all of a sudden people love Superman. Why? I still don't get that. I thought that would be explained.
And that's been the biggest problem with the whole DC Snyderverse movies from the get-go. Is they built it too fast. There's no history. There's no backstory. There's no time to dwell with the characters and them develop.
I did like how Snyder took out, and by the way, I do not know anything. I've never watched the behind the scenes. I haven't watched a compare and contrast, folks. I haven't seen anyone else's commentary on it, to be honest, besides whether they liked it or not. But I do know this, I say no. Wasn't this the movie where Batman says that Wonder Woman has been in hiding this whole time? But yet they removed it from this cut? Or am I thinking of another movie?
No, that
was that in Batman v Superman?
I do think that was one of the few edits they made based off of
Wonder Woman 84 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't Justice League he said that?
This was Wonder Woman now going to reveal herself to the world and go out and do stuff now.
Well, remember, Batman says you haven't been around. Where have you been, Diana?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And because he says something similar to that in Justice League, I was thinking, is this the scene where he originally said that and they edited it out?
I'm pretty sure.
Or was that Batman v Superman?
I'm pretty sure that there was some line along the line that she was going to be more out there.
He did, because he did say that, because then in WW84, I was like, wait a minute, I thought that she hadn't been around. Well, now they've retconned. Well, I say retcon.
Not retcon.
No, it's not a retcon, because this is the Infinity's Justice League here.
It's a side con.
I love how everyone makes Flash the most irrelevant character in the Justice League. You got super speed, so Superman has super speed. as does Wonder Woman.
He saves
stopping
the day.
bullets. I'm just saying that a guy that can go. If Batman's looking for a guy that can go fast, you found 2 on your team already. Do you need a third one? Well, that's his only shtick.
Well, one of my complaints with the original cut of the Justice League was, Superman comes in at the end, and it's like, okay, you don't even need the Justice League. You got Superman.
And the other thing is, if she's
everybody was pointless.
The other thing is and I mean, this is a knock on Wonder Woman 84 than Justice League, but they'd already seen, Patty Jenkins had already seen what she did in Justice League.
Yeah.
Yet super speed was not around.
Well, Wonder Woman's way
84.
cooler in this than she was.
Oh, no doubt about that. But the thing is, though, I'm like, well, Patty Jenkins had to have watched this movie maybe prior to doing Wonder Woman 84 just to kind of see what Gal Gadot's been up to. And she says, "Oh, that's cool." Because it was a fun. That scene was in the Whedon scene. That whole Wonder Woman stopping the terrorists.
A little more, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember that from the Whedon scene. I remember thinking, "Oh yeah, that's fun." But it's much better than anything we've seen in Wonder Woman 84. But Patty Jenkins watches that and goes, "Okay, I would be taking notes like super speed, stopping bullets with bracelets." And I get that. Yeah. I get that. Let's do more. No super speed at all. That's just a Justice League power she had. It grew in the past 20
is after 40 years. She's developed powers like she learned how to make planes invisible.
I'm glad you're explaining all this, and they're not. Oh, my gosh. Was the Amazon sequence that friggin' long?
No, I mean, everything is longer now.
Was it in? I somewhat remember it though. That being in Whedon's cut,
but it wasn't.
But was it that
there was
friggin'
more.
long?
There was more to it this time.
Boy, Josh Whedon had it right. Cut it down.
Well, that's the whole.
That was awful.
I would say this.
And I understand he gets his vision. He gets the full-fledged. We're seeing the uncut. I know that.
The thing is,
but there's a reason that should have been cut.
We are seeing not just the uncut. We're seeing the cut that they put together and then send to the editor's bay to then, okay, how do we make this into a movie version? Which is why I think it works better as a episodes like they had cut, thankfully, because I stopped every day. I watched one episode a day. And, I had a good time. It works better as a TV movie, which TV does give you more time with these slow moments. And you're more forgiving of them. And while movies, you tend to expect to point to point to point.
Okay, this is called the Justice League, not TV series. I know it's broken down to episodes, but it's called the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So it's his cut of the movie. It's his theatrical version of the movie.
There is no cut. Wait. There is no cut here. This is everything he filmed, I think.
No, I know. This is everything he filmed.
And put in slow motion.
I know. But the thing is, though, Josh Whedon, I'm going to say, had it right, cutting that scene down. Because the cool scenes, and like I said, I only remember parts of what was in Josh Whedon's, but I remember seeing that scene. Yeah. But I remember even seeing that they're playing Keep Away from Steppenwolf. And in Snyder's cut, man, he makes the Amazons look stupid. They keep shooting him with arrows. We know for a fact from the very first time they all shot him with arrows, and he plucked them up and then crushed them in his hand, they're not working.
Well, they're doing what they can. They're doing what they can.
But yet, you have these unnecessary, I mean, this is what Wonder Woman is about. It's unnecessary, over-the-top, ridiculous-looking action. This is the first movie that I laughed about. When, I can't remember what it is, but I remember she comes shooting out of a church, and the church explodes, and the bell flies out with her or something. It was ridiculous, like Fast and Furious camp fun. I mean, I laughed. I mean, I seriously laughed. Like, that's campy. That's funny. I know it was supposed to be a cool action scene, but it turned out to be campy. And man, there's a lot of camp in there. There's one, she turns, she has the mother box. I think it's the main woman or the mother, and she turns and she sees one of the parademons, and so she takes a step toward him and then turns to run. And so and this is all in super slow motion because we got to have this thing last 4 hours. And so she's turning around slow motion. What does she do? She fakes toward him, then turns around to the wall, runs up the wall while the parademon kind of just looks there because he's frozen in time now. And she jumps and then falls down on him with the sword. And, I mean, I'm sure this is a scene of something from 300 that he filmed a long time ago. He's like, let's do this again. I was like, what was the point of all that?
Well, I mean,
and the parademon just kind of sitting there. And I know it's the Stooge, and I know they're supposed to be killing somebody, but
we've got that you don't like this version, and I did enjoy it, but I will say this. Yes, if
I'm
we're going to
say
nitpick,
no.
The thing is, yes, you could have edited.
It's the Snyder cut. He threw everything in there, so I'm going to nitpick.
Hey,
I'm going to talk about good things too. There's good things in here too.
Thing is, but ultimately, if they cut this like you do every other movie in the world into a 3-hour movie and cut all the fluff, I think this could possibly have been one of the best superhero movies ever made.
Absolutely not.
I think it could have been.
No way.
Because it just had a lot of fluff into it because it was the assembly cut. It was when you put all your scenes that you filmed in order and you take it to the editor's bay and then they slice it to where it flows better.
Now
this movie had a problem with the flow.
Right. Well, this movie has some other problems too. In that battle, there is horrible CGI. I feel bad saying that because I know they're probably limited on their income. But you also have to admit,
the CGI in this cut was way better than what we got the first time around.
I don't recall.
I would say just go back and look at it.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't recall.
Yeah, the thing is, I heard they gave him $70 million to do this cut.
Oh, don't tell me that.
No, I would say this.
Don't tell me that.
It looks way better.
I think Steppenwolf looks worse.
No, he looks fantastic. I love the way he looked in this movie.
No, I did see a comparison of Steppenwolf, and I like the Steppenwolf.
Go watch.
But the silly thing is the Queen is just the biggest dunce in the world, is what Zack Snyder makes her look like. Because after all this, they know arrows don't work anymore, so they do the horses. The little horse keep away from Steppenwolf. It's cute. It's dumb.
I think, the thing is, I appreciated it on this level. It was these were people that knew they were outclassed. They knew they were hoping they weren't going to lose. They were doing what they could with what they had, and what they had was not enough. And Steppenwolf even calls Wonder Woman out on that late in the movie, in the finale. He's just like, if you were there, you probably could have stopped me.
So anyway, and I don't know if this was in the Joss Whedon cut either, and I don't think it was, but again, it's been so forever. One of her people gets trapped underneath the horse that Steppenwolf shot or something. Steppenwolf's walking toward her to get the box.
I don't know why she was stuck under a horse.
I don't know why
She's
either.
Amazonian.
But
she
anyway,
just flung that horse. Unless Amazonian horses are really heavy.
He hit it and she was injured and stuck underneath the hearse or whatever. So the Queen's going to rescue her, but here comes Steppenwolf, and so she grabs the bow and arrow and shoots 2 arrows at him. I was like, lady, we've already established arrows are not going to work. And what was
her other option?
It's the fighting spirit. It's punch him. You still got super strength, I hope. It's going to be better than those arrows. But it did no good. And this was this is the same problem from, because every once in a while, because I do want to see it all. 4 hours is a lot, but I want to see, because there are some scenes that should not have ever been cut, ever, because it made the movie much better, and I'll get to those in just a minute. But one, they still don't explain, why was I expecting this? Batman's newfound respect for Superman. It makes zero sense if you're watching.
He respected him at the end of the previous movie
because mother had the same first name.
And I think it was guilt because Batman realized.
But he never did anything to command Batman's respect. I think it was. Now Batman admits he was wrong with his misunderstanding of Superman, but the thing is, though, the facts led him to believe that Superman was XYZ, and it makes sense when you look at Man of Steel. Guy looks like he's a maniac. Yeah, he needs to be stopped. That's the one thing, and I mentioned this a long time ago in a podcast. We talked about Batman v Superman. I believe it was Saturday Morning Sandflange actually talked about this, but the thing was, I said the one thing I liked was Batman made sense, because yes, watching Man of Steel, Superman is a menace. Mm-hmm. He needs to be taken out. I agree wholeheartedly with Batman, and Batman kicking Superman all around the world is always my favorite. But
Batman realized he was wrong,
and I don't mind
from the perspective we were given in that movie.
But not enough to have this newfound respect, and there was nothing in there to help explain that. Now I'm going to get to some stuff that was explained that was good. it was embarrassing. I'm glad he put it in there to show you, like, hey, even I make common movie trope mistakes. Man, a janitor, he witnesses a noise in Top Secret Star Lab, so he goes to investigate. and then, just to let you know that, okay, if it's a noise, if it's a loud crash and bang, you may want to get someone because there's security there. But no, I'll go investigate. Okay, all right, maybe so. Maybe some shells fell, and maybe he doesn't want to overreact.
Happens all the time.
But then he sees someone is physically broken in and obviously torn through the ceiling and everything. Yet he still goes to investigate this janitor, and I'm like, no, because it's a parademon, and it is.
No, he doesn't know it's a parademon.
No, but he knows someone has percussion who has super abilities. Something's wrong, and he still doesn't get anyone. It's done. It's this terrible movie trope. It should have been cut. He put it in there to say, look, this was a dumb scene. You
had to fill out that episode. Hit the 40 minutes.
And I don't know, and help me out. I don't know if this is supposed to be comedic or we're supposed to be tragic. I laughed. Aquaman comes in after saving that man from the boat. I don't remember the original Justice League if this was in it. And then he just comes in. He's fireman carrying this dude, and then slams him on the bar.
Yeah, that was.
And then grabs the drink, and then of course
Taps
drinks the dry, pollutes his own ocean and disappears into it. I don't get that. But that made me laugh. I don't know if that was supposed to be a comedic moment though, or just that he's a lost soul. I took it as laughter. I laughed.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was funny. Did you laugh, or was it okay? Because after a while, he's drinking, he's sad, and you're thinking, oh, was this supposed to be a sad moment? I don't know.
Thing is, this is we know this from the Aquaman movie and previous incarnations we've seen. This is not the comic book Aquaman. But I do enjoy this Aquaman.
No,
I like Jason Momoa.
And now here we're getting into some of the good stuff here. Aquaman's world. I don't remember any of that being.
Oh no, Willem Dafoe was not in the original cut at all.
Well,
nor was Amber Heard.
No, but I'm talking about just some of the build up for his future movie. Obviously, that hadn't come out yet, right?
It was like going to be the next movie.
I know, but it hadn't come out yet at this point. But they knew where they were. Obviously, they knew the direction. So the thing is, though, that's really good. Because A, it sets up a lot to the Aquaman movie. B, it fleshes out Aquaman, who is not fleshed out in the first movie at all. He's introduced by Bruce Wayne, disappears into the ocean. I don't think we see him till later, till he reappears at the
randomly. I don't know how he knew he was. I don't know how Aquaman knew where the heroes were.
And I understand that now. This is a good take because Aquaman gets his own little scene, his own little world, and it is interesting. And and by the way, I still think, sadly, Aquaman is the best movie that DC has right now, still, and it's a mid-card compared to everything from Marvel. And I want there to be a better DC movie. I've said this a million times. I'm a DC fan, but Aquaman is still the best movie, and so the Aquaman scenes were actually done to help. And I was thinking about it, because I remember the Aquaman movie pretty well, and I was thinking, okay, this helps better set up Aquaman, the movie, plus it gives his character something to do. What's going on with him right now? He just disappears after Bruce Wayne's scene and never comes back. Well, obviously there was more shot, and they show it, and it was good. That stuff was good. William Dafoe's plea for him to return and stuff, and by this point you've already seen Aquaman, but those two mesh well. Another one that's really good, Steppenwolf, is way more developed in this one than he was. Steppenwolf, now he has I don't remember this in the original Justice League either, but the Darkseid backstory was better. The Steppenwolf, we find out Steppenwolf has done something to make him mad. He's making amends, but it's not just one world. He needs 50,000 worlds. He's really screwed up. And so Steppenwolf has some drive now in him. So now we get to see Steppenwolf is, by the way, a terrible character to focus around your whole movie still. But at least they fleshed him out a little bit better in this one, which I thought was much. I wrote Steppenwolf's backstory more developed, Darkseid plot, because we know Darkseid is the guy in the wings, waiting in the wings in the first cut of the movie, but you're only a comic book fan would know that.
Yes.
And now they kind of give more of a backstory of what's going on. It's basically Lord of the Rings ripoff, because Zack Snyder likes Lord of the Rings, I guess. And he decided to do one like that. And you don't know whether you're watching a superhero movie or the next installment of J.R.R. Tolkien's movie. But either way, though, it is good because now we get to hear a little bit. I thought the guy in the horns was going to be Steppenwolf, who chopped Darkseid and made him, defeated him or, injured him to where he had to be taken away.
I have no idea why you think that.
Well, I mean, because he's wearing the same, because Steppenwolf has horns. So I thought they were going to talk about, when you were a good guy back before we turned you, you stopped Darkseid. I thought that's where they were going with that. But they were just showing just random characters going up against Darkseid.
They weren't random characters. Those the pantheon of
the Amazons, the Atlanteans,
and the
the Green
gods.
Lantern. Who is
Hercules and Zeus.
I love how Green Lantern. I'm serious here. I love how Green Lantern is easily defeated by Darkseid, but a man with an axe can just can get him. That was good. Doesn't have to be the most powerful weapon in the world, just the most bravest warrior. But that was good. All that was good, and that was basically needed. Not that you had to see Darkseid, because obviously he's not the main villain here, but you have to understand what the F is going on. And the mother boxes are better explained here.
Yeah.
Because Steppenwolf's basically talking about what he needs to do to complete this. The whole Doomsday formula is there, and that's how he gets to talk to Darkseid, because he found something Darkseid's been looking for forever. Though in the battle they showed it. Did Darkseid just forget what planet he was on?
That is a question.
He take the wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah,
and obviously Darkseid didn't write the Doomsday formula. Someone else, some ancient.
It's the anti-life formula.
Okay, well, the anti-life formula. He didn't write that, obviously.
Anti-life equation. I'm sorry.
Okay, so they don't really explain how it got there or what it's doing there or who.
No, they didn't.
Darkseid is picking up.
Yeah, that is something left, maybe for the sequel.
Okay, maybe, I don't know, but I was like, okay, so I don't understand how he forgot it was there. They didn't really explain that, but at least we get some extra back.
And that's also why he hasn't come back in the thousands of years since that first battle.
Okay. Now let's switch back. Got to switch back to awful. The Flash's opening scene is horrific.
Yeah, that was deservingly on the cutting room floor.
Man, yes, it should have been.
But wait, we didn't talk about the Norwegian singers after the Batman and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Also, deservingly on the cutting room floor.
What was that all about? They start singing after Aquaman leaves. I forgot about that.
That is the biggest problem with this.
I went down to the river to
No, it wasn't that good.
Studying about the good old... Yeah.
But yeah, that was
weird.
Trying to make it epic, but it was
long,
drawn out. I kept thinking, okay, it's neat that they're singing the song. Okay, they're still singing. Oh, they're still saying. Oh, they're still singing.
Yeah, so, that was horrible. I forgot about that. I didn't write. I should have written that one down.
How could you forget about that? That was one of the big blunders from the first episode.
No, that was bad. I watched these all together as one. But anyway, the next one, but with Flash, terrible. It's a terrible scene. He's trying to be funny. He's really not. He falls in love with a girl that he opened a door for 2 seconds. And then this is the great one. As the girl is crashing into the other car, I don't know what your face would be when you hit impact in a car, but it's not going to be angelic and all beautiful and all like, she had like a little smile. Her eyes are open. She's like so happy. She's angelic. And Flash is wondering how cute she is.
I'm thinking, Barry's all there slightly touching her and moving her head out of the way. He's all pulling his inner Biden out on her. It's crazy.
Yeah. He puts away a wiener, which is good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I was like, because I thought for a minute, I said, what's he going to do? Just stick the hot dog in her mouth and make a joke out of it? I didn't know. And the thing is, though, I'm glad that DC got to watch X-Men and Quicksilver and copy Flash, make him just like the Fox version of Quicksilver.
Not just like.
Who is... No. Well, Quicksilver's better.
Do not use the word just like.
He is better. But this is the poor man's Quicksilver, and it's just so obvious. They can't come up with anything new. But this is so dumb because if you're in a wreck, if you look like that, you must be stoned. I mean, she's like,
Well, there was.
while he's looking at him, and usually you look like your teeth are your teeth are clenched, your eyes are shut because you just impacted something, or you're like, it looks like you're squeezing out a turd or something, and that's what her face should not be beautiful and angelic. It should be like twisted in horror.
Yeah, this was a scene that you would normally just cut out of a movie. They tried something, it didn't work.
Ever.
Yeah, but the thing is,
oh my gosh,
the problem here was in the Joss Whedon cut, and Zack Snyder said 0 footage from Joss Whedon was used. This is all his original stuff.
Right.
But in the Joss Whedon version, Flash was not a hero yet. He was nervous on one of their first fights, and Batman looked at him and said, "Hey, just save one person." That's good. That was a good scene between Batman and Flash. Just save one person. Focus on what you can do, one thing at a time. Save one person.
Oh, wait a minute. That was in the original one.
That was in the original. But
he
Zack
saves
Snyder,
that one person out of the building.
And so this was trying to say that
I forgot about
that Flash is already a hero. He's already saving people before Batman gives him that encouraging speech. And so because you won't use that one line from Joss Whedon, you now have to have a backstory that, hey, Flash is already doing stuff.
That was actually better in Joss Whedon's cut.
That was a good thing from Joss Whedon's cut, yes.
Because he saves the people in the pickup truck.
Even though he already
I remember this now.
Even though Joss Whedon already used that line in Age of Ultron.
But
between Hawkeye.
But he's saving all those people, and then Superman's picking up the whole building and saving everyone. He's like,
which all that stuff was out of this one.
Like again, Flash is useless. But I forgot about that in the Joss Whedon cut. That wasn't in this one. So that was Joss Whedon stuff.
That was Joss Whedon stuff.
Oh, that's too bad. That was really good.
That was good.
That was good. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Hot Dog Girl, no. And the scene took forever, and it wasn't fun. Quicksilver scenes in the Fox X-Men.
We had to fill out the episode. Episode 2 needed some time.
Anyway, Quicksilver scene in the Fox and the Fox movies were great. They were fun. He was doing quick stuff, and every once in a while slowing down. They knew that you just don't go continuously in slow motion for 3 minutes. It just doesn't translate very well.
Zack Snyder. Everything is in slow motion. Batman shaving was in slow motion. Alfred making tea was in slow motion.
This is Sparta. That's the only thing that gets to be in slow motion.
I mean, really, you put everything in real time, and this was only been 3 hours.
They added a ton of more Cyborg stuff, and oh my goodness, it's even worse. It makes Cyborg even worse.
No, I did think the thing is, Cyborg was terrible in Joss Whedon's version. It needed some of this backstory. I think it did make the Cyborg story better, even though I still don't like Cyborg.
He's the most powerful person in the world. He can do all this. He's filled with anger and rage at his dad for keeping him alive, not ever being there, his mom being dead, has all this angst.
It's almost like his daughter killed herself. Oh, wait.
Yet he can...
Maybe Zack Snyder's trying to say something about something that happened in the real world.
Well, and then all this other stuff, like he's like... But he's like, I'm angry at the world. I'm the most powerful person in it. His dad tells him that, because he can do anything. Okay, that's the makings of a supervillain, actually. That's the right mixture for a supervillain. I said, oh, is he going to be a supervillain in this? And that they have to turn.
I mean, ultimately, it was the problem of forcing Cyborg into a Justice League movie.
Oh, boy.
There's no point in his character being here.
But he's using a tape player to get his instructions from his dad, which I guess I thought it'd be cute to use a tape player. Who is a tape player?
Old people, like his dad,
I guess. But yet, even though he doesn't care about or the world didn't care about him, when they see him, he'll still give money. He'll still rob from the bank to give to poor people.
He didn't rob from the bank. He robbed from the Federal Reserve.
No, okay. So he's a villain. I really thought they were going to make him a villain. That I thought this was going to be a side storyline because I could see this coming. That I say, oh, so he's bad for a while. The Cyborg goes bad, and the Justice League, or some of the characters have to stop him, and they turn him and say, no, look,
everything he did is considered good by people, even though of course he's going to cause rampant inflation if he does this to lots of people. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh, how come they don't know that Batman exists in this world? How come when they...
I don't know what you're saying.
How come people act like they've forgotten about Batman?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, all right. In the movie, there were several references that it acted like, oh, Batman does exist. Well, yeah, he was around.
No, the Batman.
And I know it's been a few years since he's been back. He's been retired since
Batman. I think in this world is an urban legend. He's not known as being publicly, but he is. But there's the rumors of Batman.
Well, I mean, I was going to say the one person who seems to know him is Flash, who's just freaked out about how cool it is that he's found Batman, and of course Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Who knows? And the police department knows. And I'm like, okay, so people know, but then everyone else like, no. I was like, well,
I don't think he's.
In Batman v Superman, he'd had this long.
He wasn't publicly known then either. Thing is, he was an urban legend. He lives in the shadows. Maybe they missed the whole Batman versus Superman fight that happened, because they sure remember Superman giving him all those flowers. Oh, and this one I forgot. I think this one is in both takes too. Flash tipping the sword to Wonder Woman. Yeah, why do you poke it with your finger? First off, at super speed, he's gonna just slice his hand.
That's not it. What does she do with it? Does she turn around and attack? No, she lands on the ground and then sheathes it. And then they run off. I'm like, wait, what was the point of giving her a sword?
She didn't want to lose her sword.
She was going to fall to the ground. The sword was going to clatter. She'd go run and pick it up. But no, he tipped it back to her. But I thought it was a big, moment where she's going to turn around and just, bam, take it to Steppenwolf or something. No, she drops. And then she said, I had to rewind it. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Did she not attack? No. That whole scene is just so she can have her sword before she hits the ground. Kind of dumb. That's another thing. That's what I said. It doesn't make any sense to put that unnecessary scene in there. It just doesn't make any sense. Man, oh man. And then my favorite one. The Josh Whedon may have done this one better. And I understand that Zack Snyder, I'm guessing he didn't have it all completed. This movie isn't, all the scenes he wanted.
No, from what I've come across is the only thing that's new is that epilogue.
Oh, God, we'll talk about that in a minute. But, okay, so the Batcrawler, and by that to the first defeat by Steppenwolf, where Aquaman comes to save the day, the Batcrawler stalls. They're all hanging on hanging on to the Batcrawler as it's finally died out on the wall there as the water's rushing underneath them. I guess Aquaman's okay because he can breathe in water, but he's been swallowed by the water now. And I think it's Wonder Woman, Batman, and I guess Flash. I can't remember who else is with him. Cyborg, whoever. They're all hanging on to the Batcrawler, and then Cyborg gets his jets and flies up the tunnel, flies up to the opening. And that's it. Cut, scene, move on to something else. And I'm like, wait, so what? That's it? It didn't act like that. It acted like we were just in the middle of the scene. It's like, was there more?
I haven't seen.
But it just ended. So I don't remember Justice League added something to it.
I haven't seen the Whedon cut since
me neither.
Theaters.
Like I said,
I want to think there was more there.
It's sad you reminded me of that scene. That was actually a fun scene. I totally forgot about that scene. And this is the same, and they did the same thing that I hated in the Josh Whedon cut. Batman throws detective work and science out the window with this resurrection Superman garbage. It may not work. We're going to do it. It could be a risk. We're still going to do it. Cyborg goes, no, this is a bad idea because it could render him insane and blah, blah, blah if we get this wrong. He went, we're going to do it. No. Screw the math. Screw the numbers. Okay, it makes no sense. He's the most irrational one. He's the one who uses his mind.
As said, he was acting on faith because, he was buying a lottery ticket. He didn't, because he knows that they were going to lose in the long run without Superman. They had to pay, they had to do whatever. Just try something. And they would have lost without Superman.
I just want you to know that if Zack Snyder would hear, he would disassociate any association with you. That's what he'd do right now.
I'm
you
just saying,
keep defending him so much.
Batman told Alfred
anyway,
he's playing on faith.
Anyway, it's acting irrational. And then they did the whole, run, get electrical spark with my feet thing that I thought was dumb the first time through.
You're talking about the very end of the movie?
How to bring Superman back to life. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
Yeah, but they had to cope with something.
It wasn't any better. Well, Star Labs. They could have gone with that story from the comic book. Yeah. Okay. So to go with everyone, the world loves Superman, right? The world loves him. They miss him. They put flowers on his grave. Superman comes back, okay? Mm-hmm. Remember, you just said they've forgotten about Batman. Batman's an urban legend.
They never really knew about it.
They really never knew about him, exactly. Okay, obviously they've never seen Aquaman 2 because he's been hiding out. Obviously, same thing with Wonder Woman. Same thing with Flash because he just got discovered.
Uh-huh.
So when Superman, their hero, comes back to life, and we should be celebrating because Lois is happy, and he starts attacking 4 unknown people. The army just unloads on Superman, man. They just go nuts. I thought we loved him, but we're going nuts. We're just firing at Superman, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because there's 4 unknowns who Superman, our hero, is beating. 0 sense. I understand they wanted to have a Superman versus the Justice League fight because Hulk fought the Avengers in the first movie, and Iron Man fought Thor in the first movie. Wasn't that cool, folks? Hey, let's do something similar. I know that's exactly... They're looking at Marvel's playbook and go, make sure this is in here. Make sure Superman fights everyone, which, again, doesn't make any sense because then he goes off with Lois. He calms down in a cornfield, doesn't say I'm sorry for almost killing everyone. I did not like this. There was a funny joke in there that Batman said that wasn't in the Snyder cut. So I'm guessing it was a Josh Whedon joke, but I thought it was funny. And it wasn't in there. Because I do like that Superman fight scene. There's one of my favorite scenes is when the Flash is running really fast around him to get up, and then Superman just kind of looks in real time. Like, I'm just as fast. AKA, Flash, you are the most worthless member of the Justice League. Because everyone has super
Except
speed.
Flash saves the day.
And so anyway... so I still think that's a great scene where Superman's attacking Flash. But Batman had a funny line, and I didn't hear it this
there was
time.
a lot more in the Whedon cut with that fight.
Yeah, and I liked the Whedon humor. At least in this case.
Just not the Whedon story.
Maybe. It's been so long. It's been so long.
Treats people.
But I remember there was a really funny joke, and since Snyder had some humor in this, and since I guess that's a Josh Whedon scene, that's why it was cut. But I remember Batman, he gets knocked down by Superman, and then as he's getting up, he says something. I can't remember what it is, but I laughed.
Not that Josh Whedon had anything cut. Snyder took his version. He walked away with his copy of the movie.
That's what I just
Whedon
said.
Stuff was what added to Whedon's version.
What I just said. That's why Snyder cut out that joke, because it
he
must
didn't
have
cut
been
it
filmed
out
by
because
Whedon.
it was never in his
It was
version.
it was in the movie.
Whedon, and Zack Snyder, when he left, when he was cut off from the movie,
right,
he took his
right.
What
Whedon
he had,
filmed these other scenes,
and he walked away.
Yep, for the movie.
So
and then
he
Snyder
didn't cut anything because he never saw Whedon's version. He never had.
There's a movie out there called Justice League, folks.
There's no cutting.
Yes,
because all he used,
this is his cut.
All he used was
Snyder
what
cut.
He had.
Snyder cut. But I'm wondering, at that moment when he's about to unload on the villains, why didn't Batman just yell out Martha? It worked once. It should work again. I like how Batman is the Punisher in this series. I say jokingly. He's got big guns on the Batmobile. He's got, of course, Christopher Nolan.
He's got a tank.
Ruined Batman.
He's got a tank on
this is the Christopher Nolan days, and he's running around with a rifle, shooting people. I was like, this isn't Batman. It's Punisher. But
this is not the comic book versions of your characters. We learned that in the last 2 movies. You should be more forgiving by now.
He gets his man, the Justice League spends more time saving Batman when he's in the Batmobile than any of this. It's like Batman shouldn't have been there. I remember that. And then someone tears off the hood of the Batmobile and he's kind of exposed, and that's where that parademon is about to kill him. And then pick your superhero comes to punch the parademon away and says, "Go for it, Batman." And then Batman, right after that, plows right through a burning building with no protection. Comes through the other side because he's Batman, baby.
He is Batman.
And I was like, couldn't you have waited till you had the cockpit on and then go through the burning building? I don't know.
No, he's fine. He's Batman.
It's just, I guess.
Batman knows what he's doing.
He's so reckless in this. He makes mistake after mistake after mistake. He just, You know, well, who is he? Leroy Jenkins. He's the Leroy Jenkins of the Justice League. All right, thumbs up. Let's do this. Batman. They're like, oh, geez, someone say Batman. What is he doing? Oh, man, he just ran through a burning building. He got himself in trouble again. So, okay, so let's talk about Flash saving the day.
Okay.
So Cyborg goes 1, 2, gets attacked by Steppenwolf, which is fine. You know, Flash is trying to figure out what's going on.
Typical.
Okay, Cyborg comes back, isn't speaking to Flash. Is just sitting there. What happened to 3? I know you have to get rearranged.
He was going
again,
on 1. He was going on 1.
What happened to 3? And then Flash is like, Cyborg, you know, anything, help. And Cyborg's like, no, I'm just going to let you stew because you're the most irrelevant, Flash, you're the most irrelevant member of the team. You're so irrelevant that Cyborg won't even, he can hear you because we see a scene where Cyborg's hearing Flash beg for help and beg for, like, what's going on, give me an update. And Cyborg's like, 5 more minutes. Or he doesn't say that. He just says, F him. I'm not talking to this guy. Who needs the Flash? And, of course, Flash has to go back in time because they just screwed it up. But Cyborg, it's called. Why were you ghosting Flash? You kind of he's asking for an update. Help him. He's the most irrelevant character in the Justice League. So he Flash turns back time, of course, to save them. But as he's run back through the city, he's also restoring these damaged buildings that were damaged to begin with.
He's not restoring the buildings. He's turning back time.
Right.
Those buildings were never destroyed.
Right. Okay. So in it, when we get there, the buildings are run down, damaged. As he's running back to the point of origin when all the things went down, the buildings are repairing themselves than what they were when they started. It's a rundown city they're in, but no, it's just like a new. He's fixing the streets and the lights, and it's like
I don't know what you were watching.
Really weird. Really weird. I don't know why they decided to do that. So it's too bad. I don't. It's not established. No, it's not established that he can turn back time. He knows about the Flash
faster
zone
than
or
the speed
whatever
of
it
light,
is.
which would mean he's traveling backwards in time.
Yes, and it would have been nice if
this.
they'd have set that up a little bit.
They did talk about it.
He talks about there's a when he's jump starting Superman. If I can touch the light.
He talks about when he gets close to the speed of light that wonky things happen with time, which is what we know through science that if you were to travel faster than the speed of light, you could turn back time.
Right. It would have been nice if they'd have set that up a little bit better.
They did.
And
just a little bit of better knowledge helps.
Other one, this is a good one. In the Josh Whedon cut, the Justice League is completely irrelevant at the end because Superman comes and just beats up on Steppenwolf all by himself. Because Superman can do anything. And I remember saying this to you when we first reviewed the Justice League. I went, it's dumb because the Justice League doesn't need Superman. Superman doesn't need the Justice League.
Exactly.
He could have beat everyone. So that wasn't in there. It was more of a team effort.
It was definitely better of a team effort this time. And I like that.
Yeah, because the first time around it was just Superman all through it. And I'm like, well, then what was the purpose of because Steppenwolf is nothing to him. He can kill him easily. But here he gets the help of the Justice League, and of course he burns off his horn, stuff like that. I can't remember. Someone chops off his head. Darkseid's just sitting there watching. I guess I don't know what. I guess he's pissed.
I thought that fit Darkseid. He was like, Steppenwolf has to prove himself. Steppenwolf has to do his job.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it for him.
I also don't know if the stuff about Flash's dad was in there in the first cut.
Recall.
I just don't.
I think they had one scene just to let you know.
I just don't remember. I don't remember. Like I said, it could have been there. But why didn't Bruce Wayne helps Martha Kent, but he won't get Flash's dad out of prison? Jerk.
That's in the next movie.
And then the thing I brought up about the first time we watched Justice League. No one in Hollywood knows how to write banks. Oh, did you pay off her loan, Clark? Oh, no. Did you pay for a loan, Bruce? Thanks for paying off a loan. I didn't pay off her loan. I bought the bank.
It's like
because they weren't going to let go.
Because there's not an easier way to do that.
Yeah, and I thought that was a Whedon joke. I prayed it was a Whedon joke, and nope, that was in Zack Snyder's cut too, and it is terrible. So let's talk about the very, 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 very long epilogue. Jared Leto's pointless. As a pointless scene. It's obvious he wasn't there with the rest of the crew.
No.
Away at another car, and so he and Batman have their
that was filmed
scene.
during COVID. There was very few actual actors
tell.
together on scene for that. There was multiple.
That was a new shot scene.
That was the only thing shot new.
Oh gosh, it's terrible.
No. It
It's
actually
horrible.
made me want a movie that I'm never going to get to see.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I know they built that up, that Jared Leto's Joker's in it. And Jared Leto's Joker sucks anyway. And that just cemented it there.
You're carrying over bad vibes from other things.
I'm just judging this off this one scene. It's awful.
It was good.
It was awful.
I really, that was my favorite part of the whole movie was that epilogue.
Oh, boy. Low expectations.
Nope.
Martian Manhunter. I'm guessing that was post-production too.
But no. That was
Fan
original.
service?
That was original.
That was all original.
Because if you go to the very early promotion of the film, they talked about bringing together the 7, while we only had 6 heroes in the movie, because the 7 was Martian Manhunter included, which was what we had. He was,
So
an actor,
he was always in the film.
That character was in, he was in all 3 movies in his human form.
He was all.
It was always a build up for him to reveal himself at the end.
So they had already. This wasn't a new scene they filmed.
No, this was not new.
All right.
But
it felt like it was a new scene they filmed.
Part of me felt like Batman should have like, where were you yesterday when we needed you?
I thought Ben Affleck looked less buff. Is why I say it was it was a new scene they just added in there for fan service. But okay. I mean, of course, and then everyone talks about the Superman mustache thing. Superman mustache doesn't bother me. Obviously, it wasn't in here because he didn't have the mustache back then. So, but the thing is, overall, it's better than waiting 2 hours into the DMV. It's much better than waiting in line at the DMV.
I would say,
and by saying that, I mean it's much better than Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. But I'm basically and waiting in line at the DMV.
But the thing is, I had no desire to go back and rewatch the Whedon cut.
I
will rewatch this movie.
I will not. Will not.
Now, are you familiar?
I like Batman as Ben Affleck as Batman too.
Yeah,
I'm not a hater on Ben Affleck. I think he's great. I wish he'd get the role again.
Now, did you know that Whedon, released what his plans were for his sequel movies? I think it was because he was going to have Superman verbally abuse a bunch of women, right? That was Whedon. That was not Zack Snyder.
Oh, okay. What does Zack Snyder want to do?
Well, for the sequel, of course, Darkseid was going to make it to Earth.
Yeah.
And they were going to have the big showdown there. Superman was going to leave Lois in Batman's care to protect her, and he was going to fail, and she was going to die, which leads to that dark future where Superman is also, with the mourning and the corruption of the anti-life formula or equation, turns to the evil Superman that you see in that, the cut. And then we would get... in the third Justice League movie, that bleak future. And remember, Flash shows up in Batman vs. Superman to warn, to tell Superman that Lois is the key.
Right.
He's going to realize he overshot. He went too far. And he realized he needs to go back to when Batman, didn't save Lois. Now, you had the line from the Joker in this version, in the Zack Snyder cut, where, Batman, how many multiverses have died because, you just couldn't, you couldn't let yourself die, or wherever it was. But in this version, Batman was going to sacrifice himself in the third movie to save Lois so that Superman wouldn't go bad. And then you would have years go by, and Superman and Lois were going to have a baby. They were going to name him Bruce. And when he was old enough, he was going to take him to the Batcave, and Bruce Clark was going to take the mantle of the Batman.
I'm so glad we didn't see anything else in this.
The
I'm glad this is the end of the Snyderverse. They're not going to do any more, are they?
They've said no.
Okay,
no
good.
has been the
Good choice.
the all-round word.
Good choice. However, the choices they're making aren't good either. So DC, there's no one else who can take the reins at DC, but someone needs to slap those people. Or give it over to Paul Dini and the DCAU people. Give it to those writers.
There's a lot of talk that DC's up for sale, which makes for
Disney?
makes sense as far as the comic books aren't doing anything, but it makes zero sense as far as the characters. I cannot imagine Warner Brothers giving away the rights to Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. They've made way too much money in movies with them.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them selling those characters. Now, maybe they're not selling the characters. Maybe they're just selling the
publication rights of the comic books. Well, to be honest, a small comic book company should take them and do something good with them.
Robert Kirkman has come saying he's interested in buying it, which I would be interested if he takes over the publication of the characters. That would be interesting because he is a guy who knows the history, loves the history.
Yeah.
And I think he would put the love back into the characters.
Yeah. I'd be for that.
And I would say, as far as publication goes, it needs to happen, and he needs to get Marvel as well.
Okay. All right. So there you go. There's our thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you like the Snyder Cut? Did you not? What'd you hate? What'd you love? Did you think Whedon's was better? Do you like waiting in the line at the DMV? Hey, folks, we'll see you next time on Princes of the Universe.
You suck.